horizontal going, so bear with me. Gonna take about a minute before we're going live. But you see the name of the live stream, Divided We Stand. So you should already kind of know where I'm going with that, but I do want to get your opinion on it as usual. Kind of reminds me of Tom Jones. It's not unusual to be all right, let me make sure I get this device going. I don't know why the hell this does that. Okay, so to make sure we let them know it's not for kids, because for some reason YouTube or does not like political lives if you don't click not for kids. So we have to let everybody know this shit ain't for kids. I don't know why. Why can't children get involved in politics? I don't know. Why should it be not for kids? Anyway, I do have it set to not for kids, and I think I got everything set for us to go ahead and get started. Looks like I do. And hopefully the camera and everything will kick in. If so, we should be able to get this party on the road. I think it's happening. There we go. All right, so hang on a second. I gotta tighten my damn mount. The mount is fucking, oh god, I hate this. Hang on a second. Obviously haven't had a in the car live in a while. And it shows because my equipment is not ready for it. I haven't done an in the car live probably in a couple of months. So something is off there. All right, we'll try it. We'll make it happen now. Okay. And hopefully it works. All right. So what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We just want to do a real quick live. Not quite as long as the other ones, but we got, 4 days left until Biden is gone. He gave his farewell speech was it yesterday? Bowing out, some would say bowing out gracefully, bowing out with turbulence. How many of you folks saw his farewell speech? Because he did take digs at Trump, and he suggested that America seems to be falling into the hands of oligarchs, wealthy oligarchs. Do you see any of that? He kind of used an old quote from Bernie Sanders about the wealthy should pay their fair share, but he did indicate that America seems to be falling in the hands of wealthy people, and something he fears. He did say these are things that he's concerned with. So this is our former President Biden, because Trump is coming on in 4 days. As you see, my live is titled Divided We Stand. Regardless of how you feel about President Trump, President Biden, whatever the case may be, let's get one thing clear. Let's say Trump gets in there and he gives us the best economy we've ever had. He ends the Ukraine-Russian war in 24 hours, or some of these other promises he's made, largest deportation in U.S. history. Grocery prices come back down. You get $1 for a dozen of eggs, $2 gas. Let's say all of that comes true. I don't think there's anyone among us that believes Trump will lead from a position of unity. He believes his first term. Most of my MAGA folks, my MAGA viewers, believe his first term was very successful. They don't believe it was a united country, though. So what I'm asking is this. Can we be successful as a divided nation? That's what we're headed into. Hopefully Trump successfully achieves a hell of a lot of the promises he's made. I would like to get $2 gas again. I would like for groceries to come down. I would like for the overseas conflicts to end in 24 hours. I would love to know that people's cats and dogs and ducks are not being eaten. I mean, I still haven't seen proof it's happening to begin with, but I would love for him to successfully achieve his promises. But can we have a successful country if the population, if the populace are divided? Is there anyone in here that believes, as I stated, no matter how you feel about Trump, whether you love him or hate him, is there anyone in here that believes Trump is going to rule from a position of unity? And if so, what leads you to believe that? What have you seen from Trump that lets you believe he is attempting to unify everyone? Because I'm asking, could that divisive governing style that Trump has hurt us in the long run. I mean, like I said, everybody wants a good economy, but when we're a divided nation, people can get hurt. You can be doing okay financially and still be a victim or a suspect in a crime. I mean, people can get hurt. So I'm asking, can we have a successful country from a divisive standpoint? That is all we're going to really tackle on this, because I am concerned about it. And like I said, I have not seen, let me make sure I got the sub-only chat off. I have not seen any evidence from Trump that he's going to change that. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think Trump is going to make an attempt to unite us? Now, remember, I don't have it in front of me like I normally do in my home studio, but Trump got on social media and sent out a happy Thanksgiving message to the country. Christmas rolled around, he sent out a Merry Christmas message to the country as well. In both of those messages, he attacked liberals, called them radical, suggested that they want to, to destroy the country, they hate America and all of that. Can he lead us to greatness while doing that, while constantly criticizing the other side? Now, we know what's going on in California right now. Fires ravaging out of control, a lot of citizens in Southern Cal losing every damn thing they got. Trump is in the middle of that, chastising the hell out of the government. Some might say he is correct in what he's saying. We can certainly tackle that. But does it help anybody in the moment? You've lost your home and everything you own, and the president is on TV saying your governor sucks. Maybe your governor does suck. But will that get you your home back? What is the benefit of tearing down the government while they're in the middle of a crisis that they still got to fight? It's not over with yet. It's not like after it's over with, we start talking about how this was preventable, how the government failed the people, and this should never happen. They're fighting the fires currently, and while you're there with the hose spraying down the fire, there's this guy on your shoulder talking about your governor sucks and this shouldn't be happening. How does that help anything? That's what I want to know. As always, you know how the program is ran. We are MAGA friendly. We've been that way since day one. We always will remain MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We do not block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. You can be critical of anyone in the comment section up to and including the host. That's how the program works. That is how free speech goes. As long as the app, as long as YouTube or TikTok allows you to speak, damn it, so will we. That is how free speech works. So looking at the comments, Blacks for Trump says Hosea Lynch. Well, that didn't actually happen though, Hosea. Out of every group that voted for Trump, blacks voted for him virtually almost like the same they did last time. He did okay with, well, he didn't do okay with any group of black people, but he increased his take with black males. Trump only got 7% of the black women's vote. Kamala Harris got 92% of it. So all of this blacks for Trump did not pan out right at all. Remember the whole hashtag walk away? The African-American community was going to walk away from the Democratic plantation and go vote. Now, that started in the 2022 midterms. We obviously know what happened in the midterms. The red wave never materialized, but it was also supposed to happen in favor of Trump. He didn't do very well with blacks. He did very well with Hispanics. We'll see how that turns out in the midst of the largest deportation in history. Looking in the comments, though, leading from division. Divided we fall. Can we successfully prevail under that type of a government? Toothpick 818. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Toothpick. Divided we fall, or divided we stand, rather. Not united, but divided. Toothpick, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, handsome. Hope you're doing good as always.
Same. Thank you. Appreciate it. So what do you think? You think there's a chance beyond hope that Trump will govern from a position of unity?
Well, let me ask you like this. If you leave the dog alone in front of the bag of treats, you think the dog's not going to eat it?
Depends on how well trained the dog is. There's plenty of dogs that won't do
Okay,
that.
then let's pretend that this dog was never trained at all and dodged the draft.
Then that dog is probably gonna eat the treats.
And I think that answers the question.
So you see Trump as an untrained dog in front of a bag of treats.
I mean, it's a horrible way to insult dogs, but pretty much.
So you obviously don't have any love for Trump at all. Sounds like.
We can get into Democrats too, but yeah, I really don't think. I think the Republican platform has always been, well, not always, but as we know it now, has always been bad for this country.
Well, wait a minute. Now, under Trump, folks will say we had a decent economy and you could actually afford things. You don't give him any credit at all. He didn't do anything good for this country during his first term.
So what everybody seems to forget is that was the sort of results of the Obama years. And then after that, and I've heard it in so many different words, but pretty much what he got was a steady ship in calm waters. And then we just saw how he, in a very partisan way, divided the country, especially during the pandemic. And, I am of the sentiment that had the pandemic not happened, he may have won again. But there's just lots of things that he did that during that. I feel like we have such a short attention span. Everybody forgets that he had the Muslim ban. Everybody forgets that he did the tax breaks in 2017, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I think also the Doha Accords. Everybody always says he was a president of peace, and he the one that killed that Iranian
Soleimani.
Soleimani, yeah, he was the one that did that, and there were so many other instances where we were basically playing chicken with war. Everybody blames Biden because, his withdrawal of Afghanistan was, horrible and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, first off,
Well, we did have 13 service members die. Was that not a horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan?
It was, but I think that to just have that conversation in the scope of that immediate instance and not step back and have the broader conversation of that we shouldn't even have been there in the first place for almost 20 years. We can talk about it that.
That's not going to, even if I agree with you, we probably should, because bin Laden was obviously not in Afghanistan to begin with. So I agree we shouldn't have been there, but that doesn't excuse the botched evacuation where 13 service personnel pass or lose their lives. That doesn't excuse that.
I understand that, and I understand that it's terrible, and I don't really. How can you sort of quantify a human life, let alone 13, let alone individuals who swore an oath to our country, but at the same time, it's like I feel like, and again, I'm moving forward with this with the understanding that these are human lives we're talking about.
Right.
But I feel like nobody talks about how many Afghanis lost their lives, and also I feel like this Trump had these conversations. I'm not sure. I'm
okay. Wait. Let me ask you this now, because you mentioned the Muslim ban, the tax breaks, his assassination of Soleimani. You do realize a large portion of this country view those as accomplishments of Trump. Him taking out Soleimani, him giving tax breaks, even the Muslim ban, a whole lot of, now he wasn't allowed to do the Muslim ban, the Supreme Court shot it down, but a lot of Americans thought that was a good thing that he was proposing.
Well, the Muslim ban was shut down was because of a lot of people's protesting that then the government responded to.
Yeah.
But I think that to view it as an accomplishment, a lot of people view January 6th as an accomplishment. Does that make it such?
Say that again.
A lot of people view January 6th, the January 6th insurrection, as an accomplishment. Does that make that such?
What was, no, of course not, in my opinion, but I would ask, what the hell was accomplished on January 6th? The whole goal was to stop the steal. They didn't do it. They didn't do a damn thing successful on January 6th. So who would view January 6th, even from the Trump side, even from MAGA? What would they view about January 6th that's successful?
Well, the same, because a lot of the people that do that usually operate. Those people that did, the people that view the Muslim ban as a quote unquote success are the same people that operate under the same sort of racist, xenophobic intent. They see it as, oh, let's kick these people, let's keep these foreigners out of there. And I think that it's either you're misinformed or you're just a Islamophobic person.
Wow. Well, they felt that there were terrorists. There was a terror threat, and by imposing a Muslim ban, it would reduce our exposure to acts of terrorism.
So should we reduce European Americans because of Timothy McVeigh and because of all the white people that shoot up all the Aurora incident and all that? Should we do that with them too?
No, white people, you asking for too much. I gotta move it on though. We're not gonna ban white people. That's not gonna happen. You asking for too much. You know how that works. But yeah. I do gotta move it on too, Pig. I understand what you're saying. But the Muslim ban, and I didn't favor it either. I thought that targeting everybody from the Middle East was somewhat, a hate call. I didn't favor it either, but a lot of Americans did. And you made a good pushback on January 6th. I don't know why somebody would see that as a success, but you are right. Some people do. Toothpick, thank you for coming through, man.
Take care, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. A pleasure. All right, moving on with the program. Ace Ventura. Do you think Trump releasing 5,000 Taliban soldiers prior to leaving could have maybe affected the exit that he signed off on? I've never heard somebody suggest that. Yeah, that could have we're talking about the botched evacuation from Afghanistan and the loss of 13 service personnel. What Ace Ventura in my comment section is saying, and thank you for the support, Ace. He's saying that you made a deal with the Taliban. You essentially restored their position back into power. And they're still in power to this day because of that deal with Trump. He's saying that because you put them back in power, is it possible that could have something to do with how bad that evacuation went? The answer is yes. There is certainly a possibility that could have happened. Yeah, they made a deal with us, but we're going to send them off right. We're going to find a martyr, hang around the airport just to let their ass know this is what we think. It's possible. It is very possible that the individual that took their, suicide bomber, the individual that took their life on that August day while they were leaving Afghanistan could have been set there by the Taliban. And there's no denying that Trump put the Taliban back in power in Afghanistan. There's no denying it. So it could be. This is, before I go to the next caller, I want to respond to that by saying, I think this is one of the reasons why Biden and particularly the Democrats have had such a rough run as of late. The messaging sucks. What my last viewer stated about that whole tying the restoration of the Taliban to that, Trump would have done that. And MAGA would have done that. And it would have been brought up at every rally, like, yeah, the evacuation didn't go so well, but they would not likely have done this if they didn't have control that my predecessor did. Trump would have brought that up. That's a great point. Let me go back to the box. First person I've seen do that, by the way. Continuing on with the program. Nope, stop trying to give Biden and his woke generals cover to blame Trump. TDS, says Draco. Listen, TDS, I don't know what the fuck TDS is. Like I said, all I know is people that don't want you to dislike Trump, they throw this TDS thing around. I don't really know what TDS is because you give me the definition and I can go a million different directions with it. But the idea that he restored the Taliban back to power in Afghanistan, you're going to tell me they're guaranteed that didn't have nothing to do with it? There's no way you can say that. High Top. Good evening. Welcome to the program, High Top. Legal Latinos for Trump. Legal Latinos. Deport kid grooming Democrat fire starters. That's a mouthful there, Damien. He says, legal Latinos for Trump. Deport kid grooming Democrats for fire. Wow. I could go all into a spiel about the Bible being put in schools in Republican states. That's grooming. You just like it. Continuing on with the program, I don't know what happened with High Top. We'll go to Andy. Good evening, Andy. Welcome to the program. Always a good talk to you, Andy. Can we
I
be
just think it's funny. They're talking about grooming when Trump was friends with Epstein, and Epstein's got those new tapes out at ProPublica. You know, the ones that were made in 2017, where he was talking about how him and Trump were friends right before Trump passed away. I just found that to be absolutely hysterical.
Well, they're not gonna see Trump as a groomer though. So you see Trump himself as a groomer.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I came up here on my backup account. Because not only that, Trump lost 66 people while he was in office. Let's not pretend like Trump's military, he didn't lose nobody. He lost people. And on top of that, Trump changed the way we even determine how civilian casualties are lost after a drone strike.
Elaborate on it. What do you mean? Elaborate on
Cover
that.
up Syria. Trump was trying to cover up Syria, where all those drone strikes hit innocent people. And that's why we changed how we report drone strikes to the American public. Go figure.
I have not heard this. So if a drone strike has innocent casualties, are you saying they won't report it?
They started reporting it on a monthly and not on an individual basis, so that it would cover. Yeah, because so that way that we have to be honest with the American people.
Well, we got Trump again. Is there any chance that you may view him as an honest, transparent president going forward?
You lost your mind.
he got a mandate according to him. He got the popular vote. I mean, people wanted Trump back.
That's called a plurality. No, he did. 51% of the country voted against Donald Trump. So that's still a plurality. That is not a majority. Let's not pretend like it is. Majority would be 50% or better. He got a plurality. They need to learn the meanings of words. They're handsome. They don't know. They don't know the meaning of communism. They don't know the definition of socialism. They don't know the definition of Marxism. They don't know the definition of a plurality or a majority.
But I think they know
These people are the most uneducated voters in U.S. history.
But I think they know the definition of victory, though, Andy. I mean, if Trump is as bad as you guys
I don't care. You get a bunch of dumb people who have a bunch of racist attitudes and have a bunch of feelings, and and just because they win, don't make them right.
So you see now you're saying a bunch of dumb people with racist attitudes. Are you saying that MAGA primarily consists of people that are lesser educated and racist?
Double haters. They're double haters. The only thing Donald Trump gained. When we look at Donald Trump is the only president to lose, to win with more votes than he lost by. Let's just be honest. And it's because nobody in this country really gave a shit, unfortunately. Half of them didn't want to vote for a woman, and the other half didn't want to vote for his ass. So more than half the country didn't vote. And not only that, hold on, you asked me the question. I want to finish. Not only that, Donald Trump gained voters in uneducated, pale people who didn't have a high school diploma.
Uneducated, pale people. I'm learning some new terms here. So if you're saying that Trump and his supporters are the way you're painting them to be, bigoted, intolerant, uneducated, why the hell would the Hispanic...
Alabama. I see them every day.
I get your point, but hold on, hang on. Why would the Hispanic community, if you're saying they're as bigoted as you claim, he did well with Hispanics, Andy. How did that happen?
Yeah, because they fall into the category of that won't happen to me or that won't happen here, because that is a fallacy of American thinking. All you people thinking we won't turn into a fascist nation, that won't happen here. I'm sorry. Y'all missed the boat. It's over. We're in the fuck around and find out phase of what y'all voted for. Good luck, y'all.
So you think we're on the cusp of potentially becoming a fascist nation? Andy, you're on mute.
Yeah.
So
I do.
Give me something that you've heard to lead you to believe that under Trump we'll become fascists.
We're going to kick out the woke military. That's one.
What the hell does that even mean?
Hey, trust me, bro. I don't need ChatGPT to tell you I live in a state full of racist Alabamians. I don't need ChatGPT for this. This isn't my show. This is Tim's show. Get it right. Trust me, bro. And trust me, bro, right there alone says it all, don't it?
Alabama is Alabama. Well, you're in Alabama, so Alabama we know is far right. So Alabama, do you think Alabama is representative of the average Trump supporter?
Yeah, I do.
Really? Wow. I mean, because he won places like he won Ohio. You think
Alabama? Well, hold on. Alabama voted 65% for Donald Trump. Biggest vote for Donald Trump in the country. That's why I said, yeah, I think they look like the fuckers I live around. Not only that, Alabama's headline right after Trump gets into office reads, Alabama going to be hit worst by Trump's cut. Donald Trump's cuts betray rural America. That's the very first headline that came out when, let us be honest. He's going to let Elon Musk, who was almost bankrupt in 2004 and needed a government subsidy to bail out his electric car company when he wasn't the only one making electric cars. And he has gotten rich off of U.S. subsidies since. Let's just be honest.
Well, Elon Musk could be really good for America, though, Andy. I mean, with Starlink and some of his inventions, that could turn out to be a really good match made in heaven.
Really? Because he just told he wouldn't turn on Starlink over Taiwan because Russia asked him to do China a favor. How is that beneficial to America?
I don't know. Maybe it's
how is it he's going to turn off Starlink over Ukraine good for America? I think those are things good for Russia, don't you, Tim?
I think there may be some of that, and I have heard that, but Trump's relationship with Russia.
You told me to wait till after he got elected and then make decisions based on what he's doing. But he put a man in charge of Doge, which, by the way, we already have a commission for, the over budget thing. It's a congressional committee. So how is having two committees to see how we overspend money with three people in charge efficient? It's not.
So let me ask you this before I'm hearing you just put Trump through the ringer. I gotta ask you this for shits and giggles. Can you name anything that Trump did while president that was good for America?
The animals thing.
Protecting
the first step thing wasn't that bad.
Okay, all right. So he wasn't all bad then.
And I don't like what Biden just did to Israel. I can straight up call balls and strikes.
Okay, all right, that's
but
fair.
Trump don't give two fucks about us currently. And Elon, let's go back to Elon. Elon currently is trying to destabilize the European government. Huh.
Yeah, I saw what he's, talking about the leadership in the UK and things like that. I do think that could be a problem. I don't know why he's getting involved in their shit too, but that could be a problem.
Because Russia, same reason they want Greenland. It's all because of Russia. Let's act like we understand what's going on in the globe. What is beneficial to Russia? Having the shipping lanes around Greenland, Panama, and
wait a minute,
let's not forget the other target.
Let me play devil's advocate.
You asked.
Okay, hold
It's
on.
beneficial to Russia that Canada, Greenland, and Panama all open up their shipping lanes so that they can go through, not us.
But let me play devil's advocate. Just like last time when Trump was, speaking to Kim Jong-un and visiting Putin, is it possible that what Trump is doing could improve relations between the United States and Russia so we're not at each other's throats all the time? Is that not a possibility of being a good thing?
But we're going to do it at the offset cost of getting rid of all of our allies in the EU? How is that a good thing?
Would we really lose all our allies, though?
Yeah, we're threatening Greenland, which, by the way, 2 European countries have bowed up at us. France has told us to fucking quit or else. They're offering to back Canada.
France.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
You're talking about France is offering to back Canada.
Yeah.
I don't think.
EU.
I think you.
No. The Canada's part of the EU, Tim.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
They will back Canada.
Yeah, and that would be a problem.
Acting like Trump has done anything good since he got reelected. He's done nothing but start 3 potential damn fights.
I don't know. I gotta disagree with you. I got to disagree with you. Since Trump got in office, he threatened tariffs. Oh, hold on, let me tell you. He threatened tariffs on both Mexico and Canada if they didn't secure their border. They're already both talking about doing things to secure their border.
Wait. Why should Canada do that? What does Canada owe us? By the way, what do we owe Canada? Do you know, Tim? How much do we owe Canada?
I ain't got nothing to do with owing. I'm just simply saying. It ain't got nothing to do with owing. I'm just simply saying.
We can't ask them to do shit when we owe them money. How much money do we owe Canada?
But that's the point. Trump is asking them to do shit, and they're listening. That's the point I'm making. He's still making them do it.
You're missing my point. They're not, Tim. They threatened to turn our power to the north. They're not listening. And on top of that, if I was Canada, I would give the U.S. the bill they owe us for the debt they own. Yeah. They own $1 trillion almost in U.S. debt. I would hand the United States that $570 billion.
Good luck getting that paid. Good luck getting that paid. I mean, you could hand us the bill. America would just default on the bill. They wouldn't
I'm just saying, they don't owe us shit. Well, and when NATO comes to call, y'all can think we're the baddest thing in the land, but you know who fights for us in the cold? Canada. You know who has the best damn what do you call them? Special forces, military special services.
Canada?
In the cold? Canada, yes. We go learn to fight in the cold in Canada from Canadians. Okay. What the fuck do you think? Like, come on, let's quit.
So now
let's quit playing like the world. Wait, first of all, Americans are fucking arrogant. The rest of the world don't owe us shit, including Canada. Most of our problems spill into Canada. If anybody was going to get pissed off, they should be pissed off at us. Not only that, they own our money. They do all these nice things. And who are we? We're fucking dicks to the world. So let's quit acting
last question.
Bullying our neighbors.
Okay, let's
quit acting like bullying our neighbors who Trump made the damn... Let's not forget, Trump made the USN... He got rid of NAFTA and replaced it with the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. Okay, if Trump made such a good agreement with them, why are we having to hassle them now?
Hassle them how?
If Trump made such a good trade agreement with them, why are we complaining about the trade agreement now? It's the one Trump made. Why is it?
You're talking about Trump, so anything.
What feel any good?
Yeah, because it probably wasn't as good as he was saying it was. That's why. Let me ask you this before I move it on, though. You got Netanyahu in Hamas talking about they've come close. I think they've kind of went back on this, but they had talking about they've come to a ceasefire deal and they're about to give the hostages back in a few days. Do you give Trump any credit for that? Because a lot of folks feel like that would never have happened if Trump didn't win.
I don't know. I'll have to see how it plays out. And not only that, let's be honest, didn't Trump promise that the Ukraine and Russia would be done? And didn't they both just reject his thing?
Yeah, that happened.
I could have sworn they did.
Yeah. All right, Andy.
Trump's full of a bunch of bullshit. And they all bought it. And I can't wait for the fuck around and find out phase. Because I am, I have money. I'll weather the storm. Plus, I'm the right, shade for Trump not to be after me. So y'all just keep thinking what you're thinking, but be prepared for what you get.
The right shade for Trump to not be after us. Wow. What are you trying to say? You the right shade for Trump.
I'm saying that the Latino population, Trump ain't looking at me.
Yeah.
I'm just a woman. I don't matter to Trump. My vote don't count. I'm just a girl.
Damn.
Trump don't care about women. Let's be honest. Women don't matter to Trump. He don't even want us to be in the damn military. No, I'm sexist. I'm not racist.
You do understand that Trump. Hold on. You do understand that Trump won the white women's vote, right? You talking about you don't care about women. You do understand Trump won the white women's vote, right?
Yeah, but I do blame some of that on the fucking church. Let's be honest. In the South, the church reigns supreme. No, have you been down here and seen some of what's going on in the church? They're telling these people they'll go to hell if they don't vote for Donald Trump, which is insane to me. Because the people in the church shouldn't be telling people who are Christians that Democrats can't be Christians. That's going on down here.
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people say that, not just down there in Alabama.
It's insane. And then there's just some women who do what their fucking husbands tell them, and I just find that to be ludicrous. And then there are some that are fucking racist. But I will tell you this, the majority of the men are downright sexist. Because I've been all over this app. The shit I have heard from the male population is disgusting.
All right, Andy. Passionate today. Wow, you didn't make that easy at all. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Fire since he got elected. That's why I've avoided you, because I could have been so much worse to some of your fucking audience members who think that Donald Trump is going to save them. First of all, you men, I hope you ain't under 25, because if he gets rid of the woke military, y'all are taking their fucking place. Be betting on that shit.
I gotta go. Thank you. All right, that is Andy, folks. Like I say, folks, we go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. It is a free speech program. She's entitled to her opinion. I'm likely going to get opinions that are equally as far to the right. Wow, that was interesting. I don't disagree with her on everything, but we clashed here and there. That's likely to happen. By the way, tap the screen. Get the likes up to about 10,000. We can make that happen. I haven't solicited that yet. We got almost 300 and. So, almost 400 of you folks in here. So tap the screen, get the likes up. Smash that like button if you're on YouTube. We don't block, ban, or censor. That's how the program has always worked. We are MAGA friendly. Ace Ventura says, props to Canada and Mexico for sending firefighters to help us despite the fact we insult them. Well, Ace, I don't think it's we. I do, like what my last caller was saying, Trump seems to have a problem with these countries. I didn't hear any negative criticism towards Canada in particular at all until Trump came on the scene. So I don't think it's we are insulting him. It's Trump. And of course, a lot of Trump supporters are going to follow what he says. So that's where that's coming from. Mexico, a different story. There's a lot more issues with Mexico, but Canada, I don't think we've ever had a problem with Canada. Let me go back to the box. What did Trump say negative about Canada? Well, he's been criticizing Justin Trudeau constantly, suggesting that country is damn near a socialist country. Trump has said plenty negative about Canada. I mean, anybody that is critical of Trump, he's going to say something negative about you. We know how that works, which is what we're talking about today before I go back to the box. Can we be a successful country while divided? Because whether you like Trump or dislike Trump, I think everybody acknowledges he's not going to be governing from a standpoint of unity. If someone thinks differently, I'd sure love to hear from you. I'm 19, ain't scared. I've been pissed off since they made us stop pledging to the flag in school. Let's make America great again. Did they stop pledging to the flag? Or did they just take out the under God part? I'll go to the box. Tap the screen. Get your boy up to 10,000 likes. There's a lot of lazy thumbs in here for my TikTok viewers. Tap the screen. Get the likes up. Smash that like button on YouTube. In regards to pledging allegiance to the flag, we all did that going to school. And here's one of the things I will say about that. You've heard a lot from the right lately. DEI, CRT, LGBTQ issues. I don't want things being shoved down the throats of my child in school. I'm going to tell you, based on my own analysis doing these last for about 4 years now, that is utter bullshit. If you put your hand on your heart as a kindergartner and say, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the flag and wish the republic, how many kindergartners know what the hell that shit means? How many first graders know what it means to pledge allegiance to a nation? They're shoving propaganda down your kid's throat right then and there. So the idea that I don't want things shoved down my kid's throat is bullshit. You don't want things shoved down your kid's throat that you don't like. But if you favor it, like Bibles in schools, like the 10 Commandments in schools, they're doing that right now in Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma. That's shoving Christianity down the throats of kids, and the Republican Party ain't saying a damn thing about it. So I'm just going to say from a simple standpoint, the notion that we don't like things being shoved down our throats, kids, or wow, did I have a Biden moment there? The idea that we don't like things being shoved down the throats of our children is bullshit. We only want things shoved down their throats that we agree with. And then you can shove all you want. If you're okay with the Bible being taught in schools, even if a child is Muslim, you don't give a damn about that child's religion, then you're okay with the shoving. You're okay with it. You just don't want to hear about shit you don't like. That's not going against shoving. That's doing it from a standpoint of supremacy. The shit I like is what's right. The shit you like is wrong. I want them to shove down the throats of the kids the shit that I like because I'm better than you. That's what I'm hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Going to the next caller. Tap the screen. We'll go to Mr. Walter, one of my subscribers. We always get a subs first digs. Good afternoon, Walter. Welcome to the program.
Hey, how are you, Tim?
I'm doing good. I'm in the trenches as usual. Can we be successful from a standpoint of division? Divided we fall. Can we do that? If Trump is in power and we have a good economy, people favor what's going on, but everybody's fighting with each other. Can we be successful under that umbrella?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't remember us ever having this problem as bad as it is now. And I just see it getting worse and worse. I mean, the other side, I'm going to say MAGA, they look at me, Democrats, whoever, like the enemy. That's what they think of us. And so until that changes, I don't see how that's going to do any different.
So what are you expecting out of? We're about to do this again with another 4 years of Trump. We've thrown Biden by the wayside. A hell of a lot of America is not happy with Biden. We're getting Trump back. What are you expecting from Trump 2.0?
I mean, I think it's going to be chaos. I think it's going to be division. I think if he does what he says he's going to do, I think the economy's going to tank.
Give me an example. You talking about the tariffs?
Tariffs, yeah. I mean, you can't do what he says he's going to do and not have the economy tank. Maybe in 10 years, if we were to hold on to doing that, it might get better. I don't know, but those are not short-term fixes for the economy, which, by the way, is doing well. So
Yeah, he does seem to be inheriting an economy on the upswing. I mean, I don't know. Some folks disagree that it's doing well. I know the political analysts think it's doing well. If you talk to the economists, the ones who study, dollars and cents and shit like that, they all say it's doing well. But the average American is still saying groceries are too high, gas is too high, goods and services cost too much, interest rates are too high. So do you see Trump as bringing some of that stuff down, getting interest rates under control, just making it a more financially comfortable world for us? Do you see that?
I do not see that. I hope he does, but I do not believe he will. Simply because, there are people who study the economy and know how things work. And all of them are saying this is not the way to do what he's trying to. It's not the way forward to make the economy better. The way forward would be to raise minimum wage, that kind of thing. These rates, rents, and all that, they're not going to come down. They're always going to be lowering, the cost. They know people are going to buy it. The problem is people don't have enough money in their pocket.
Now, here's what I say. I think that Trump may actually do a lot better than you're giving him. We're speculating, obviously, because as somebody in the comments said, Trump is not president, dodo birds. He's not in office right now, but I will say I think that economically he could do a good job. And I'll tell you from this, in regards to the tariffs, he's threatening tariffs if Canada and Mexico do not get their borders under control. Both sides have already talked about doing things to secure their border. So if they do what he asks, there's no tariffs there. I also think what he's talking about with Panama, where he's threatening that they need to lower the cost of U.S. ships going through, or he's going to potentially take over the Panama Canal. Once again, I think the end result is likely Panama's not going to want to deal with this guy. Just cut the cost of shipping a little bit. I think that would be more likely the outcome. And if the cost is... Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you could be right. And I'm not saying that it's a definite doom and gloom scenario.
Okay.
I'm just saying I'm basing on what he said. And you're right. There's a lot of that speculation about what he's really meaning. But does Canada really have a problem with their border? I don't remember having any problems with their border.
Well, we're talking about Trump. So whatever's going on, he's going to multiply it by 1,000. I mean, we know what's coming across the southern border, coming out of Trump's mouth. Trump is overstating. No matter what problem you're hearing from Trump, chances are the way he's saying it is about 1,000 times worse than what it really is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I'm not saying that no nefarious character doesn't come across the Canadian border, but I'm just going to say if you listen to Trump, chances are you're going to think it's a whole lot more than it really is. I mean, the same thing with the southern border. There's obviously some bad hombres, as Trump says, that have come across the southern border. But if you listen to him, every one of them is bad. And, he exaggerates. There's no lie, exaggerate, whatever the case may be. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens, but let's talk in 6 months, 8 months, and then we'll, have a recap. But my prediction is it's not going to be good for a lot of reasons.
What about the fact that they're talking about a ceasefire in Gaza? Do you give Trump credit for that?
I'd say I'd give him some credit for it, but the plan that is agreed to is the exact one that Biden presented in May. Okay. Now, whether or not this threat of all hell break loose, whatever, is the tipping point, maybe. I doubt it, but I think he's been, Biden's been pushing and working on this deal,
So let me ask you this. If Biden had won and got reelected, or if Kamala Harris had become president, do you think this deal would still be happening?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's good. It can't go on forever, and I do think it would happen.
So you think this would be happening whether Trump? So in other words, Trump has very little to do with it then.
I mean, I really don't know. But if the only thing that he could possibly take credit for is the threat.
Yeah.
And making them.
All hell's going to break loose.
Yeah. Right. I mean, could that be it? Maybe. I don't. I'm not.
I want to just say this, regardless of how you feel about Trump, anybody watching as well. For some reason, when he makes these very strong threats, people do seem to respond. I mean, like I said, Canada and Mexico already started talking about securing their border. We're talking about the hostage agreement that's already happening. Even Greenland, Denmark has talked about increasing their military budget to make Greenland more, to defend Greenland more. I mean, his rhetoric is getting people moving.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do. I think he does stir the pot to get things going. And if he's successful, I'm happy for it. Right. If it makes this country better, I'm happy for it. But I see it not going great.
So you think we would have been better off with another 4 years of Biden or 4 years of Kamala?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Kamala, not Biden, but Kamala, yes.
So what was wrong with Biden?
I mean, the man's too old. He's too old.
So if you think Biden is too old, do you not hold Kamala Harris accountable for telling us that he wasn't for most of his term, rather?
Maybe a little bit, but to be honest, that's his decision. She can't really do much.
She can tell the truth. She can tell the truth.
She could, but that's how politics is played. You can't go against the big guy or whatever. You know what I mean?
Did you say 10% to the big guy?
I said you can't go against the big guy.
All right. That might be why they going. All right, I got to move it on, Walter, but
we'll see.
Yeah, I think that if Biden had simply did what he originally led people to believe, he was a one-term transitional president, I think the outcome could have been a little bit different. But
yes.
Could have, would have, should have. All right, Walter. Thank you. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks.
Anytime. All right, moving on with the program. And Andy, thank you for that claw. I think that was for me. Thank you for showing the program some love and support. For the folks who are not tapping the screen, all these lazy thumbs in here, we try to deliver some decent content. Tap the screen, get the likes up on TikTok for the few days we got left with this shit. Do you think Trump's going to save this? I mean, they're talking about TikTok is under threat to be canceled. I hate to use that term, but do you think Trump may save it? Man, I like the fact that we get a chance to communicate among the people. I got a lot of folks on the right and left in my live stream, so this is not an echo chamber, and most news outlets are So I like the fact that we can come here and do that. I got plenty of MAGA viewers on my YouTube horizontal, YouTube vertical. TikTok viewers are mostly liberal, but I do get MAGA come on TikTok as well. You know, we don't block, ban, or censor. I don't try to dictate how a person should speak. So you don't get that from a lot of the cable news outlets and things like that. So hopefully they come up with a way of saving it. Ace Ventura says, in the movie Ferris Bueller's Days Off, the teacher explains tariffs within the first 10 minutes. No one wins a trade war. I have never seen that movie. Bueller. I've never seen it. Never seen it. I don't think that Trump's going to end up imposing the tariffs, though, Ace Ventura. As I stated to my last caller, I think it's a threat, and I think that Mexico and Canada are just going to respond. I don't think he's going to have to do it. He said that if you don't secure your border, I'm going to impose a 15% tariff or whatever it is. And I think and not only that, but if Trump sends the military or whatever the hell it is to the southern border, or he increases the amount of federal agents, Homeland Security, Border Patrol on the southern border, the border will effectively be secure. So it would kind of eliminate the reason why he said he was going to impose the tariffs on Mexico to begin with. And the same with Canada. I think it was more of a threat to appease certain members of his audience. And it did get Canada and Mexico moving, so he can claim victory. See, they did this, they did that. They've gotten rid of Justin Trudeau, so a lot of the folks on the right also like that. He's doing a lot of moving and shaking that is really appeasing the folks who voted for him. So I don't think he needs to do it. I think he can already take somewhat victory, and he's not even in the office yet, as one of my viewers said. You know, Trump's not president, Dodo Bird. Let me go back to the box. We'll try it again with High Top. Good evening. Welcome to the program, High Top. Use your critical thinking. We're trying to do that. High Top, let's try it again. Good evening.
I'm here, Tim.
Okay, good to have you back on. So what do you think? We got 4 days left. Are you getting excited?
Yeah, I'm getting excited because we should be for free groceries in 4 days.
Free?
Lower gas.
Free?
Well, hey, the way Trump said it. Hey, but Tim, I got a theory.
Sure.
On the Hamas thing.
Okay.
I have a problem when there's a conflict and there's a presidential election, because the Republicans have been known to cut side deals.
Yeah.
Just like Vietnam. Nixon cut a side deal. Okay, Reagan cut a side deal against Jimmy Carter. Who's to say that Trump didn't cut a side deal with Israel and Hamas?
I could absolutely see that, because we know when I think when Biden, didn't the Republican Congress go over against the president's wishes before and talk to Netanyahu? I think it was during either the Biden or Obama term. I think it was during Obama's term, where the Republican Congress went over and met with him. They do cut side deals. That is absolutely true. I mean, we know what happened with Biden's border bill. Even though Trump was not in office, he cut a side deal essentially with Congress. Yeah, that could have happened. It absolutely could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, everybody want to give him, rhetoric, but just like I said, I do not trust the Republicans when it's a conflict during a presidential election, because they do some treasonous crap.
Damn. And thinking aside, didn't Netanyahu come to America and go to Mar-a-Lago recently?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible.
It's just like when Obama was in office. Netanyahu came over here and visited this country without even contacting the president. Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah. As I said, the Republican Congress also went to Israel, I think. Or it might have been here, but they went around him. I know that happened. I do remember that.
Yeah, so I don't trust Israel when it comes down to that, because Netanyahu and Trump, they're kind of buddies, and they're kind of in the same situation, because Netanyahu needs to keep power to keep his butt from going to prison.
Let me ask you this. This is somewhat off topic, but it is in regards to Trump's recent victory. Wyatt Earp in the comments, I guess that's like Wyatt Earp, but Wyatt Earp in the comments says all 50 states are on standby for possible violence. They got EO, some type of order 1391. Do you see any possibility of any uprisings once Trump is inaugurated on Monday or anything like that?
as a Democrat and as a liberal, I don't think we're wired. I don't think we're wired like that. You know, I mean, hey,
they're gonna bring up Black Lives Matter. You know that, right?
Hey, you know what? You know that Black Lives Matter, you know, thing is really a joke to me, because I've never seen Black Lives Matter go into a white church and murder up a congregation. I've never seen Black Lives Matter go into a shopping mall and murder up a bunch of people. I mean, so the way that some people try to put Black Lives Matter out there like they're a terrorist group is just a slap.
I believe Trump referred to Black Lives Matter as a terrorist group, and you make a good point. And I will also say this in regards to, you know, the Democrats and BLM. I don't think most of the violent members of BLM are card-carrying Democrats. Most of them people ain't probably even voting at all. They probably may be felons and not even have the right to vote. So it's not exactly, if you see a member of somebody on the street yelling BLM, that doesn't mean they're going to be guaranteed to show up in the next election and vote Democrat.
I know, that's very true. That's very true. I mean, well, that's just like when I see, you know, conservatives, when they post on Facebook and everything, you know, like when a crime happened, oh, well, thank the Biden administration. I came up in the hood, Tim, and I can pretty much assure you when somebody's committing a crime, they're not worried about whether it's a Democrat or a Republican at all.
Right. I just got carjacked. I think a Democrat stuck me up. Ain't nobody thinking about that. Yeah. You know, I mean, but that, you know, I mean, it's just like the wildfires in, you know, in California. You know, they're blaming the mayor and everything. Well, what the hell was she? What was she supposed to do? Stand there with a hose? Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, the right, I think, politicizes things way too much. I mean, like natural disasters and stuff like that. They politicize it.
I don't know. I got to push back. I'll say that it's a difference between the right and MAGA and Trump. I don't think George W. Bush would be doing that. I mean, it's you know, I don't think Mitt Romney would be doing it. They're right wingers. I don't think they would be doing that.
Well, you know what? Okay, Tim, I'll give you that. You know what? Because George Bush, I didn't like his policies. I didn't like how we got into that war. But he's a guy that if he was walking down the street, I would be pleased to meet him. You know, because, you know, he seemed like a good man. I think he was just misled. Donald Trump, not so much.
Wow.
I mean, because
you wouldn't have if Trump invited you to the White House to have a beer or to have dinner, you wouldn't take that offer?
No, I wouldn't.
Damn.
No, I wouldn't, Tim.
Why not?
Well, I mean, because I know who he is, Tim. I mean, I came up in Jamaica, New York. He came up in Jamaica Estates. He's 10 years older than me, so I've known a lot about Donald Trump since I was about 12, 13 years old. So, I mean, he's always been a con man, you know, and it amazes me how that now that I live in the South and how Southern people who usually would hate a Northern Yankee like him.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
How they have took to him. And the only thing I can think is his racism. Ooh. I mean, that's the only thing I can see.
Well, I can't speak on the racism I can't say yay or nay. But I will give Trump credit for the fact that you are right. He has gotten adoration and love from people that you normally would not think would favor him, such as him talking about he is not a Christian and all of a sudden evangelicals love him. I mean, you know, when you look at his history in terms of with his wives and all of this, he doesn't come across as, you know, as a pro-family man like the evangelicals and the Republican Party tend to like, and yet they love this guy. So I do. The guy could literally sell ice to Eskimos. He is really good at doing it. I mean, the guy is on video saying, I'm not a Christian. I've never asked God for forgiveness. And he's selling Bibles. How do you do that?
Yeah. Holding the Bible for a photo upside down.
Yes, and he's selling them. Hey. He's holding the Bible upside down on film or on video in a public forum, and he's selling them. How do you do that? How do you get that successful?
Well, Tim, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. When Obama got elected, as a black person, that was very proud for most black people.
Okay.
But it results in us getting Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean...
I've heard that before.
Because I was really... I mean, when Obama got elected, I said, you know what? Maybe this country's turning the corner. You know, I really did. I was like, maybe this country's turning the corner. And I think that scared a lot of people. And that's why the pendulum swung from... I mean, that's why the pendulum swung so drastically the other way.
But if it swung the other way, I'm going to ask you what I asked my last caller. How did he get so much love from the Hispanic community? Even while promising to do the largest deportation in history, talking about, you know, Mexico sending rapists and murderers, yet a lot of Mexicans voted for him. How did that happen?
Okay. I was over the road truck driver my whole career, 68 years old. Okay. I've heard from a lot of Mexicans down around the border and everything that a lot of Mexicans, when they get Americanized, they're not the same people that they were.
Damn. You know, that makes sense, because when modern day Africans migrate to this country, they don't want shit to do with people like you and me, because they view us the same way. Like, you guys, you ain't the same no more. You ain't one of us. I do agree. I can see where that might happen.
Yeah. I mean, and what you just said right there, and that pisses me off, because we paved the way and made it a little easier for them when they got over here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, but I've seen it. You know, people come to this country, and then when they think they're accepted by the powers that be, hey, they turn on their own.
Well, you gotta think, when they come here and they see us, like, you know, damn, you looking like the white man, you dressed like the white man, you sounding like him, you talking like him. You ain't part of us no more. That's the way I view it. Because a lot of them, like I said, when they come over here, modern day African immigrants, they don't normally like to associate with the black community. And I think it's because they see us as tainted. Capitalism and got a hold of your ass. We don't want nothing to do with you. That's what it seems like.
You know what, Tim? I agree with you somewhat, but not all the way, because the Africans that come over here, I mean, capitalism is the reason why they're over here.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things about capitalism, like, you know, not, you know, as far as the nuclear family, and, you know, just how you handle relations. In America, everybody's chasing the almighty dollar, to the point where your quality of life, your health, all of that stuff in America is lower than a lot of other countries, but we are all chasing the almighty dollar.
Yeah. What I said, what we have is capitalism on steroids.
Yeah. And I think that will increase now that we got a capitalist in the White House. I got to move it on, though, High Top. Thank you for coming through.
Tim, I enjoyed it as usual, man.
My pleasure. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, moving on with the program. I was asked in the comments, Serenity. No, that wasn't Serenity. Who was that? Somebody asked me, why does the Democrats support BLM? I didn't see the name of the person. They believe in the cause. They believe in the cause. I mean, that doesn't mean they are BLM, but they believe in what BLM stands for. Just like, you know, when you talk about defending Confederate statues and all that, the right supports that, because they believe in the cause of it. You know, I believe in it, and it's odd because the Republican Party historically are the ones that fought against the Confederates. That was all Democrats back then. So it's really odd to see the Republican Party defending the statues of their enemies. I don't, you know, but the party switch never happened. Joseph Hernandez, we love America. That's why we have Hispanics for Trump. All right, America first. I want to see how this happens. I am so excited. If there is one promise I want to see from Trump, it is indeed the largest deportation in history, because it will be like an ongoing mini-series. I mean, how many of you folks are old enough to remember the Elian Gonzalez saga? The child that came over from Cuba, and I think his mom died in the journey along the way, but the kid was saved. The kid went with the family, and the father was still back in Cuba. Once the mom died, the father wanted custody of his kid back, but the family was trying to keep the kid here in America. Well, they wouldn't eventually snatch the kid back after a judge ruled he should go back to his father. But when they went to grab the kid, I believe one of them had a carbine in his hand, and it was so there's a picture of a child being grabbed, and this guy's in tactical gear with a carbine. Became a really, I don't know if it was a Pulitzer photo, but it became a big photo. I'm looking forward to the largest deportation in history because you're going to get a lot of those photos. There's going to be a lot of those photos. And make no mistake about it, if there are folks that are from south of the border that truly are dodging the cartel, as some of them claim, some of them might be willing to shoot it out as opposed to being deported. I mean, if the cartel is looking for me to take my life, I'm going to avoid getting deported back to their hands at all costs. My guess is it's going to be a real interesting party once this begins. We'll see what happens, but I am excited. Looking in the comments, wonderful come here legally, says Xtina. You know, to me, the come here legally standpoint or the come here legally statement is a shell game, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why after I ask you folks to tap the screen. Get your guy up to about 30,000 likes. There's enough thumbs in here, 200 plus in here. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 30,000, T-H-O-U, 30,000, if you will. Show the program some love. Come here legally. I don't have a problem with immigrants. Just come here legally. In my opinion, based on my analysis of this, it's a shell game. I'm going to tell you to do this while I play a switcheroo with that. Even though we're saying come here legally, there is no denying that President Trump seeks to make it harder to come here legally. Obviously, coming here and claiming asylum is coming here legally. Trump plans to remove all of that. So that's one avenue coming here legally that's probably going to damn near dry up. Or at the very least, only 5,000 can claim asylum. Something of that nature. But that's one way of coming here legally that Trump's going to reduce. Obviously, the Haitian migrants in Springfield, you know, the ones that are supposed to be eating cats, dogs, and ducks, they all came here legally. They were invited here. They're all working. Most of them are in Springfield, Ohio. Trump has said they got to go. Those folks didn't run across the Rio Grande or overstayed a visa. The mayor and the governor of Ohio, both Republicans, has publicly stated these Haitian migrants are here legally. Trump's been in multiple rallies saying they have to go. So the idea that we're okay with immigrants as long as you come here legally, that's not true. I do not believe that for a second. And to quote the words of Grammy-winning R&B singer Beyonce, I would look at any immigrant and say, don't you ever for a second get to thinking. Because they're going, if you do not have residency, citizenship, I don't think you're safe. If you came here legally and you're going through the process to get residency, and there is a process, I've been through it myself in a different country. I had to get fingerprints. They had to check me through Interpol and all of the, Cook County, Illinois, Chicago. I had to go through all of those governments. They check you out. To go from nothing to residency takes years and thousands of bucks. If you are not at the finish line as of Monday, I'm going to tell you, I don't feel confident that you can depend on the race to continue until you get there. You're on your way to the finish line. They may announce that the race is no longer going to take place, and that's it. I don't feel confident. If you don't have residency by the time Trump is in office, I don't feel confident that they're going to allow you to continue getting it. Some of them folks need to understand that. We'll see. Looking in the comments, though, every single illegal had to pay, what does that say? Had to pay the cartels to come here. Everyone fancy? I don't know about that. Every single person that's here illegally had to pay the cartels. I don't buy that because one of the primary ways of coming here is to fly in on a visitor's visa. I think it's 90 days you can stay here, depending on the country. I think from Canada it can be longer, but you can stay here for a certain period of time. You cannot work, but you can come visit America and you can stay here they just don't go home. So you get a visitor's visa, you can stay for 90 days, go shopping, go visit Vegas, LA, or whatever. And then in 90 days, you're required to leave. And they just don't leave. There's a lot of people that are here that way. So I don't think they all paid the cartel. Anyway, going back to the box, thanks some of you folks that are tapping the screen, get your guy up to 30,000. We'll go straight to Troy. Good evening, Troy. Welcome to the program. The bracelets they wear tell the story of their debt to the cartel. I don't think every illegal immigrant that comes to this country is wearing a bracelet, though. I don't buy that. Now, if you're coming on foot and you're walking across the Rio Grande, maybe. Like the caravans that come, I don't think every one of them is paid the cartel. Troy, good afternoon, or better yet, good evening.
How you doing? I was going to bring up this China and Russia aspect.
Sure. What you got?
Okay. Neither one of them are allies to this country, right?
That is true.
Both signed a peace treaty.
Yeah, but one of them is an ally to the Trump administration.
According to the Democrats.
You don't think Trump has a favorable relationship with Russia at all?
He is able to go there and speak with Putin, yes.
I'm under the impression that before Trump became president in 2016, he was was on par to build a skyscraper in Russia. He has business there.
Yeah.
Friendly relationship with Putin. You don't see it at all.
But let me ask you this.
Sure.
How much land does Russia own in the United States?
I have no clue, because after what happened, we started seizing stuff. I don't know how much land they own here.
They don't own anything.
Okay.
How much land does China own in the United States?
A lot.
Oh, over 14 million acres. 383,000 acres that was sold to China through Biden.
Did it just start with Biden? Was there no purchases under Trump?
No, there was no land sold under Trump.
How do you know that?
Because I looked it up under PolitiFact.
So you're saying under the 4 years, so for 4 years while Trump was in office, no one from China bought any land in America at all?
It says it right there under PolitiFact.
Okay, I haven't heard that. We'll go with it. So what's the point you're making, though?
Okay, now China's buying land around our military bases.
Okay, I don't doubt that.
God knows what they're doing on that land.
Well, that's what happens if you want to have a free country, unless you want to. Here's the problem. Because we have such a huge trade relationship with China, you can only place so many limitations on China before they start doing it to us. There's a lot of very wealthy Americans that make a ton of money being able to go back and forth to China. So if you start placing limitations on them here, treating them like a spy, kind of like what you're trying to allude to, then they're going to do it they're going to do that to us in China. And there's too many wealthy Americans that would lobby to our government not to do it.
Now, I do own a Toyota Tundra. Toyota Tundras are made right here in the United States.
Now, Toyota's is that a Japanese or Chinese company?
It's about 14 years old. Now,
Okay.
Chevys and Fords are made in Mexico, China, wherever. They're
Okay.
not made here in the United States.
Okay.
How many Ford and Chevys do you see on the side of the highway every single day? Then how many Toyota Tundras made here in the United States do you see on the side of the road every day?
Well, shit, I'm sitting in a Hyundai, so I don't sit there and count them as I go by. My Hyundai does okay, so I don't know.
I mean, some Hyundais are made here in the United States.
Yeah, but what's the point you're making here?
With this tariff, he's trying to force these American companies to force them to come back to the United States to give the American people jobs.
Well, here's the problem with that, though, is that the people that own these companies or that have power in these companies are the ones that lobby the politicians. They're the reason why all this stuff went to China to begin with, is they wanted to get access to the cheap labor force in these other countries. So when he tries to force these people to come back and bring their jobs back to America, he's going to start having some problems out of some of the wealthiest Americans in this country. I don't see it happening. It didn't happen the first time. He talked about it. It didn't happen. I don't think he only has 4 years. There's only so much of this stuff he can do.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much one person can do in 4 years.
Yeah.
Now there's border crisis. I'm like you. My family came over here during World War II. I'm German Jew. My great grandfather was Jewish. My great grandmother was German.
Okay.
And they escaped the H, and they sailed out on a raft for seven and a half days. They sailed on a raft with about 8 other people.
Jesus.
Until a naval ship picked them up off that raft. 4 of the people passed away on that raft from starvation and.
Yeah. That's horrible.
And they were brought over here to the United States. They had to pay a big fee because our government is forcing these illegals, forcing the migrants, not illegals, to pay a big fee to come over to the United States.
Well, let's be clear. Our government, our country has never been immigrant friendly. I'm talking Irish, Polish, Italian, Chinese, Japanese, people like your family that escaped the Adolf's raft in Germany. We didn't let them in either. I mean, America has always been anti-immigrant. No matter what group you're talking about, when they came here, they faced resistance. In my opinion, you know why I think it is? Because we know when we came here, we know how we treated the original inhabitants. We talk about they're not sending us their best and brightest. They're sending us their rapists and murderers. They're going to spread diseases. We did all of that when we came here. So we kind of operate on a takes one to know one mindset. We know what we did when somebody let us in, so we don't trust any damn body. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I keep my circle small.
Yeah. That helps. That helps.
But there are tons of people trying to come over to this country legally.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to let them in. That's before we continue. Johnny 11 says, why the hell will we open our borders? We don't want to open our borders because we don't want to end up like the Native Americans. That's the point I'm making, is we know what we did when somebody opened their borders and let us in. We took advantage of them and took over their whole damn country. Replacement theory defined. So we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where somebody can do us like we did the last guys. And for folks who are saying we, I get it. You're talking to, yes, no, it wasn't not black people. I get what you're saying, but as Americans, I'm saying we from that standpoint. I got the whole audience like, who the hell is we? I get it. But go ahead. I'll give you the last word. But do you think Trump's going to be successful?
Well, I'm 50 years old. Very first time I've ever voted.
And where'd your vote go?
It went towards Trump.
Okay. All right.
And that's because in 2015, when Trump started running under the Republican Party, it's because of the fact that you heard nothing but hate and racism from the Democratic side.
Really? You didn't hear any from the Republicans, just all Democrat racism.
Okay, they were saying, oh, MAGA is racist, MAGA's this, MAGA's that. Biden even called the American people garbage for voting for Trump.
True. But wait a minute, now you said when Trump ran in 2015, all you heard was hate and racism from the Democratic Party. So you're saying you didn't hear anything from Republicans, it was just all coming from Democrats.
Well, Trump said some words about politicians and higher ups, but he never said nothing about the American people.
You never heard of okay, so when he said Mexico's not sending their best and brightest, they're sending rapists and murderers, you think that's true? That the majority of people coming from Mexico are rapists and murderers? You think that's actually true?
That was after Biden's term.
What does that got to do?
Not all these illegals are racists and murderers.
He said Mexico is not sending us their best and brightest. They're sending us their rapists and murderers. So that sounds like most of them are rapists and murderers.
They are sending us people from the prisons.
Okay.
To lower the prison count.
So you do
Should
think
we
that
send them our people from prison?
some of our people do escape and run into Mexico, but so you do believe that most people coming here from Mexico are bad people then?
The only thing the United States holds above any other country right now is incarceration.
Wait a minute, you didn't answer the question. You do believe that most people coming from Mexico are bad people then?
No.
Rapists and murderers. So you said yeah, though. You said they're letting people out of prison.
Well, let me give you a personal experience. I had a nice Mexican family that lived across the street from me. Now the mother, she was illegal, but she'd been here for quite a few years. But a illegal came up with no paperwork, and he talked his way into their house.
Okay.
So she took him in. She was feeding him and everything. He was supposed to find a job and all this. 2 weeks after he moves in, he beat this 17-year-old. Thought he left her for unalived in the bathroom of the house. Came out, started beating on the mother in front of her grandkids, and started, when the cops showed up, he started swinging at the cops, he pushed one of the cops over.
Yeah, but listen, I don't want to, you're giving me one bad story. I'm simply asking you, do you believe that most folks that are coming here illegally are like the person you're describing?
Not all of them.
We're going to speculate. We don't know, but just give me your personal estimate. What do you think? What percentage of them you think are like that?
With 186 unalivings, which we have a high enough crime rate here in the United States. Our people are some of the stupidest people God put on this earth. But I'm just being honest.
Give me a percentage, though. Give me a percentage.
I'd say about 25 to 30%.
So how many? Now Trump said 18 million illegals are here. You think about 25% of them are like the guy you're describing? That's got to. What is 25% of 18 million? Wow, that's a lot of bad hombres. That's like what, about 3, 4, 5, almost 5 million bad people? You think it's that high, huh?
Not quite that high. I'm just throwing out a percentage.
All right, you said 20%. I'm just running with what you said. Okay.
But they are literally emptying out their jails to make room because they have ran out of space in their jails, and we are definitely out of space in our jails.
Yeah, because we lock people up for every damn thing. But if we got 18 million people in this country, and folks are suggesting that they're emptying their jail, do they have that many millions of people incarcerated to do that?
Oh, they have quite a few.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Now, you said, before I let you go, you said you voted for Trump. This was the first time. You didn't vote for him in 2020 or 2016. Why is that?
Because our political system is nothing but a cartel itself. Our political system, they'll give themselves raises. But do you think they'll give the American people a decent wage?
But didn't Trump promise to drain those type of swamp creatures? Didn't he promise to fix that the first time?
Well, he had trouble with BLM and Antifa. And I do believe...
Wait. How does the president of the United States have a problem with BLM? The BLM is going after the police. How does the president have trouble out of BLM and Antifa?
Due to the fact that, first of all, they were actually paid for by the Democrats.
No, but I'm asking you, how does the president... BLM don't even talk about the president. They're talking about police corruption. How does BLM? How does the president have trouble out of BLM? I'm trying to figure out what do you mean by that.
He had
trouble. How?
It was long. It was a.
I think you got Antifa calling.
No.
Okay. Explain to me, how does the president have trouble out of BLM?
The president was having trouble out of BLM because some of the. I ain't saying it was BLM itself.
You just did. You said BLM.
It was some of the followers that were going into black communities, burning down.
How does that affect the president, though? That's a state crime. Where does if I go and burn up a CVS or a Best Buy, how does that affect Joe Biden?
Because Joe Biden has to worry about getting on stage, reporting it.
No, he doesn't. That's a state crime. You don't have to get... The reason why BLM and Trump was having trouble out of BLM is because he was injecting himself into that mess. You don't have to get involved in that. That is people at the state level having an issue with their local government. You don't need to get involved in that. He's having trouble because he is deliberately injecting himself into that mess. That's why he's having trouble. You don't have to do that.
Well, he did inject himself into
it. Then. There you go.
Right.
All right, I got to move it. It's our first time talking, Troy?
I believe so.
All right, well, don't be a stranger. Come on back through. My door's always open to you, man. Thank you. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, folks, thank you that are tapping the screen. 40,000, can we make that happen? I hate to sound like an auction, but 40. Can I get 40,000? 40? Make that happen. Tap the screen. What are looking at? Make America gay again, says Luis Perez. Really? When was America ever gay? Wow. He gave you boots on the ground into info. He gave you boots on the ground info, and you acting like it isn't good. What do you mean boots on the ground info there? Buck. I don't quite get that. Make America Mexico again. Yikes. That's why we got all this mess going on now, is some people fear that America is getting too close to becoming like another nation. Do you understand what does that say? Do you understand they call it, the hell does that say? They call it television, and what you are programming, I don't understand what you're saying there, Okie dokie. Not many are bad people. There are here illegally, and that's the main point. Now, I agree with that. Coming here illegally is a crime in itself. If you want to suggest that you're here illegally, so you got to go. That alone on its face, legitimate argument. But when you start making up additional issues like they're raping and murdering everybody, or they're eating people's pets and shit, you start losing credibility, at least in my eyes. And one of the things before I go to the box for my next caller, one of the things that I will say is this. Now that Trump has the helm, he's at the helm again for the next 4 years. If he does not prove some of the things he said before, such as the 2020 election was stolen, you're president now. Prove to us that was true. You got access to all of the mechanisms of government. If he doesn't prove that what he said about the 2020 election is true, then in my opinion, he was lying about it. And I do believe that he should be held accountable for it. But we'll see. I know a lot of my MAGA viewers disagree. But to me, yelling that the election was stolen from you is akin to, getting a bullhorn and standing in front of your neighbor's house and saying that the guy's a pedo. And all of a sudden something happens to him because somebody thinks he's abusing children. I ain't had nothing to do with it. That was a full-grown adult that beat his ass. The guy only did it because of what you said. Or yelling that fire in a crowded theater. I ain't got nothing to do with all them trampling over each other trying to get out. They full-grown adults. They should have knew to leave in a orderly manner. I ain't got nothing to do. They only leaving like this because of what the hell you yelled. So I do believe that if Trump, now that he is president again, does not prove what he said about the 2020 election, it shows to me, that should be one of the main things the reporters, when he's having these press conferences, they should ask him that. Now that you're president again, what have you found out to back up your claims that the 2020 election was stolen, or to back up your claims that the Department of Justice was weaponized? He should have to prove that stuff. I mean, he's made a lot of big accusations. He also made one suggesting that Barack Obama wiretapped his office. Prove some of that stuff. Now, I know my beloved MAGA viewers are not really concerned if he proves it or not. You believe it at face value anyway, but I believe he should have to prove that stuff. You can't just throw wild shit out there and leave it at that. Going to the next caller, says shouldn't, but he won't. I agree with that. He proved his Fifth Avenue claim. Damn. Fact. Going back to the box, though, he definitely proved that. I believe he did. Continuing on with the program, Dencal, good evening, Dencal. Welcome to the program. 4 days, 4 score, and 4 days later, we're about to get Trump again. Can we be successful as a divided country? In other words, the economy is strong, Trump gets in there, does everything right, but we all hate each other. Can we still be a successful country?
No. If you can't have a national unity, it is hard to say we're successful, because when you say the word "we be successful," if he does what he's going to do,
you said we
are not part of the people.
Yeah, I'm just laughing. You said we be successful. That sounds like the name of a rap album, but no. So you saying if we are divided, no way can we be a successful country?
Well, it depends on who you consider it in we. Are you talking about the upper class?
I'm talking about the American people, the American population. If each side is hating each other and they're constantly talking about each other negatively and saying that you hate America, you're a bigot, and I mean, they have nothing good to say to each other. Can we still be a successful country?
No, we can't be successful, because we all know that the only way to take down a real superpower like America is within. It comes from dividing its people. And the problem we had at this country, as the way it was started, and we needed other people to work the land and create the prosperity, is we said that we wanted to be open to everybody, and that we could just settle in and become all Americans. But that wasn't really true. So now we're struggling. We're struggling with that identity of being, just like we were saying, the stuff that's on the Statue of Liberty. Give us your hungry. They never cared about that. Well, they did care about. They were talking to a specific demographic of people. They didn't mean everybody. Yeah. But they made a mistake and put the word, all of us. Just the same way they said all men are created equal. They wasn't talking about all of us, but they wrote it down.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I don't think that's up for debate. Not during the 1700s. They certainly didn't mean everybody. But what about the fact that? What about the possibility, rather, not the fact, but what about the possibility that Trump may start actually trying to unite us? Is that possible?
No.
Not at all.
No, that's not in his DNA. It's never been in his DNA. He every once in a while he says, "Yeah, hey, I'm for everybody," and then the next sentence he's saying like us against them. Them guys over there, we would be better off if those guys weren't around. I'm just hoping that this 4 years. This potential 4 years, and I'm not even sure if he's gonna make it. And I hate to be.
Whoa! What do you mean by that? What are you alluding to?
I'm just saying, the tides in this country could shift very quickly. Me and you had a conversation the other day about the problems he could have with the military and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you look at every country that there's been a successful coup, it's been the military versus the executive branch. And the military will always win, because the executive branch is nothing.
Right, without the military.
Without the military.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, he could be forcing people with all this. He trying to get rid of all these generals and stuff. The military is going to consolidate. They're not going to just allow him to just put only people in place that he like and who will going to go, who going to listen to everything he says. So I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
So, but we don't have a Wagner group in America like that. I mean, you see what happened to the Wagner group in Russia. We don't even have a group like that. You think we could actually end up with something that bad?
I'm talking about our military.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but I mean that's kind of what
there is no Wagner group. But if a bunch of illegal orders start coming down, those people in the military get together and talk just like anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to say, they're going to look at the Constitution and they're going to interpret it and they're going to say our job is to protect this country. It does say we got to follow the orders of the president, but we all understand that you do not follow unlawful orders.
You're starting to sound a whole lot like General Milley.
Hey, I'm just looking at it from a realistic perspective. And everybody that expects these people, like I said the other day, who have given their lives and limbs and their kids and stuff, protecting America is not just going to roll over into this oligarchy of people like Elon Musk telling them what to do. And it's not going to happen like that, the way people think it is. And that's why, like I told you before, a lot of the stuff that Trump wanted to try to do at the ending days of his term,
right?
A lot of the military, they wasn't doing that shit. And I know we can go back and you can say what you said about Milley and did he cross the line or whatever, but trust me, there was a lot more people involved in that situation and knew what was happening.
Well, yeah, they had to probably make sure the phone call happened and everything like that. Yeah, I'm sure there were more people that knew what happened. There's probably a lot of people that agreed with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly,
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he consulted with some of the other joint chiefs before he did it. I don't think he just went rogue, because I think if he would have went rogue, the other ones would have spoke up.
So do you see? Now we talked about it. I think I kind of know your answer about this already. But do you see the possibility of a lot of these folks looking at Pete Hegseth like he's an outsider if he gets the position he's going for, which looks likely to happen?
He'll definitely be an outsider, because if there's anything I learned about, being boots on the ground as opposed to sitting in the room having a conversation amongst the people who are making the decisions, is when you introduce a new dynamic into that room, you got to earn your respect. You can't just be like, well, Trump put me here, so now I'm here. You better listen to what I think. That's not going to fly inside that room.
I don't know, but like I said, when you get...
And he runs back to Trump and says, they ain't not listening to me.
But I'm telling you, though, Trump is Daddy Trump. If Hegseth goes and says they're not listening to me, I don't know. Trump has a lot of weight. I want to, before we continue, thank you for your support. The White Man, this person's name is The White Man. Damn. The White Man is endorsing my show, says General Milley left my... The name is funnier than your comment. His name is The White Man. Wow. Okay, so Hegseth, why do you think he's putting Hegseth in there then? If he's going to be viewed as an outsider, if he's going to be viewed as, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, he doesn't have enough experience, why give him the job?
Because he doesn't care about people having experience. He cares about people following out the orders he gives to him. He doesn't care about none of that stuff. A lot of the people he put on his administration are TV personalities or people that have been in social media, because what is his favorite saying? Something about central casting. Like, he likes people that look good, people that fought for him on TV, who have pledged their allegiance to him. It doesn't really matter if they qualified for the job. We've seen him put Ben Carson in charge of the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't care.
Well, Hegseth definitely looks like a G.I. Joe, the whole America fuck yeah persona. So maybe he looks good in the gig. I mean, maybe you see him as somebody who looks like the part.
Remember, he was, I don't know if you've seen it, but he was on Fox News. They were doing an interview, and one of the guys in there, they were talking about a position being available, I think in the Department of Education, and he told the guy, "Hey man, you look the part, man. Maybe I'll appoint you." Like, he's like, He doesn't have the same thought process as we do when he's thinking more of the perception of people.
Well,
like,
but that's how he got all of his success. Is he did? I mean, whether we're talking about the Apprentice or how he did with the business, how things look has made a big difference in his life. So I can see he's only doing what has worked for him for so long.
Right, but you can't impose that ideology. Like I said, you got to think about the people that are going to be in those rooms when these new people walk into the door. That stuff doesn't work with a whole bunch of 60, 50-year-old ugly dudes that got a lot of power. They don't care about you coming in there looking good. First of all, they hating on you anyway.
He may get rid of them too. I mean, either you get with the program or get out of the way. I think this kind of Trump's motto.
You can only keep getting rid of people for so long. And when you keep doing that, you're not going to be getting the stuff you want accomplished. So
you hurt morale real bad doing that.
Yeah. So,
all right.
It's an interesting time, but I think your boy might be saving your show, man.
Who?
I think your boy Trump. He said, his people say he.
Listen, I don't want to sound like the Pointer Sisters, but I'm so excited about this deportation because that's going. I mean, I cannot imagine how much content is going to come out of chasing Mexicans and Hispanics all over the damn country. I mean, some of them going to fight back. Some of them are going, some folks are going to be, there's going to be stories of a grandma who's been here raising her grandkids for 30 years. The grandkids sitting on the porch because grandma was gone when they got home from school. There's going to be so many stories like that. I mean, wow.
Yeah, just think about all of the like the gang members and stuff when they try to go after them. It's gonna be interesting. But I was talking about your boy Trump said he gonna save TikTok. They say his people say he got a plan in action. He said, "Don't worry, Trump got you."
Oh well, shit! Let me put on my MAGA hat. I'm rolling with Trump. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Trump was right about everything. All right. Hopefully that's right. Hopefully he does that. So if Trump gets in there and saves TikTok. Already,
don't do it, man. Don't do it.
But wait a minute, though. He's only been around.
Don't sell your soul for a couple of dollars, man.
Hang on. I'm not talking about selling my damn soul. My baby mama took that already. No, what I'm saying is, if he gets in office Monday and he's already saved TikTok, tell me that guy ain't getting things accomplished. We're talking about a ceasefire in Gaza.
I guess it's one of them things where he's getting things accomplished that benefit himself personally. Yes, it helps other people.
Yes.
But
no,
man, the president ain't supposed to be, his goal is to help himself personally. It's supposed to be in it for the people.
Oh my God.
Either he's in it or not.
You sound like you got that derangement condition they be talking about. Come on now. If he is doing this for all of us, including himself.
He ain't doing it for all of us. He ain't doing it for all of us. He's doing it for support because people like yourself are just gonna say we gonna ignore all of the rest of the shit and then give him credit for this.
Man, let me tell you something.
For you.
Then, Cal, let me tell you something. I think the historical writings show us that Abraham Lincoln never wanted to free black people, but he did it. So we got to give a man credit. If he does something that benefit us. Let's get a guy his just due, right? You want to give him credit for that, right?
Yeah, but in the same breath, we had to acknowledge that he owned slaves and he was a piece of shit. We have to be able to do both, don't we?
Yeah, we can work.
We can't just be like, oh, he's the greatest ever because he did this over here when we know his heart wasn't in it. He just did it because he wanted to win
I get your point. We can walk and beat slaves at the same time. I get it. But I'm just simply saying this. At the end of the day, if he does it, historically, he gets credit. Am I right?
What does that mean, get credit? Like, what does that mean? It
wouldn't have happened without him, is what I mean.
We don't know that for sure.
Oh, my God. You sure you ain't got that derangement condition?
Yeah, you're taking this stuff out of context. You're taking this out of context.
We gonna be MAGA before so Dick, I gotta go. Oh my God.
Have a good one.
You too. Good talk. Take it out of context. That is a real, genuine MAGA phrase. That is true MAGA right there. When you hear somebody say somebody's taking some shit out of context, that's a real MAGA phrase. That was funny. Tap the screen. Whoa, Gregory with the galaxy. Shout out to you. Thank you. Appreciate the love and support. I haven't seen a galaxy through here in a minute. Thank you, Gregory, for the support. Tap the screen. Get the likes up to about 50,000. FIDDY, 50,000. Let me look in the comments. Wow. Taking that out of context, I did count. That was funny. Looking in the comments. I don't hear that phrase. I'm laughing so much. I don't hear that phrase. You're taking something out of context unless I'm talking to MAGA. So that have a liberal throw that back at me lets me know he is definitely awake. Or woke. Woke, as some of my right-wing viewers might say. He's woke. I can't pronounce this name. Yuri whatever said Americans are gullible, liberals are brainwashed and don't know it. Said Americans are gullible. Americans are gullible, liberals and are liberals are, I think I'm getting some of this wider. I've heard this before that the liberals, especially like African Americans, they generally vote Democrat. They're just brainwashed by the media or whatever. They just vote that way because their grandma did. You hear all of this stuff. I'm going to tell you something. After seeing what happened in the 2020 election, the notion that only liberals are brainwashed falls on deaf ears with me. I'll give you a perfect example. Ray Epps. You're going to tell me that people drove, and spent all that money to go out to D.C. to, quote unquote, stop the steal. The guy they want to see, President Trump himself, says, I want you to go to the Capitol building peacefully and patriotically. And some dude named Ray Epps, who they don't know from fucking Adam, convinces them to do exactly the opposite of the guy they spend all that time coming in to defend. If you want to talk about some sheep, you want to talk about some brainwashed people that just went with Ray Epps, somebody they don't know in the span of a 2-mile walk, you can't bring up brainwashed liberals without bringing that up. If you want to bring up Ray Epps anytime, you're talking about a bunch of brainwashed people. At least they're using that as a defense. So the idea that it's only, or the FBI, I see somebody say the FBI, whatever. Fact is, you went out to defend Trump. Why are all of these people you don't know convincing you to do exactly the opposite of go peacefully and patriotically? You're brainwashed. You're a sheep. You're just following somebody you don't even fucking know. So the idea that only liberals are brainwashed falls on deaf ears when you're claiming that FBI and Ray Epps got folks to do all these crazy things that they otherwise wouldn't do. I like Tim, but he still has that liberal mindset, says Creed. I lean left on a lot of social issues, but I can see some issues on the right that I favor as well. We'll talk about it. We'll talk it out. Let me go back to the comment section though. There was no law in America for you to have a baby to be able to stay here. You said you talking about the anchor baby thing there, Tanya? There was no law in America for you to have a baby to be able to stay here. I do believe being born on U.S. soil makes you an American citizen. I do believe that part is in the Constitution, is it not? That's because Trump is talking about getting rid of that. He's talking about that if you are not here legally and you have a child here, your child is also not guaranteed citizenship. Here's the problem with that. If someone comes to America while pregnant and gives birth in America, all of the records of that birth happening are here in America. What if the country you're trying to deport the parents to say, this kid wasn't born here. You can't just send this kid here. This kid was not born here. I don't see how they have to take that child back. The kid was born on your soil, your hospital, your doctors, got paperwork and all of that. He wasn't born here. You can't just bring a newborn over here. I can see that going awry pretty quick. And by the way, is there that many of those that they need to pass a law to do that? Because that's what Trump is talking about doing. That's the plan, says Extini. Yeah, if your parents are not American citizens, at least one, you're not an American. Like I said, I don't know how you're going to say you got two parents that give birth to a baby in another country. Like I said, I do believe our law says that if you're born here in America, you're an American. I believe that's how the law is. We'll see. It will be challenged in court. This is one of the things that Trump is talking about doing. And he only got 4 years. We'll see how much of this stuff he's able to successfully do, because a lot of this stuff will be challenged in court. Unapologetic. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Fuck my freedom. Fuck Trump, because I was told that's how I should think. Take my rights in the name of democracy. Damn. Fuck my freedom. Fuck Trump. Because who told you some shit like that, Adam Schmidt? Who told you that? You need to change your associates. Maybe you're hanging around the wrong people. Perhaps you need to come hang out here a little bit more often. Unapologetic. Good evening.
What up with you, Tim? How you doing?
Oh, you know me, just hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. So what I'm asking is, we got 4 days before we get Trump. Do you not see him moving and shaking already? You got Canada and Mexico talking about actually doing a little bit to secure their border because he was threatening with tariffs. You got Denmark now talking about upping their military budget to make sure Greenmark is defended, because Trump was talking about buying that off. And now you got a promise of a ceasefire in the Middle East, because Trump was talking about all hell was going to break loose. Is this guy not making it happen even before being in the Oval Office?
No. What the hell?
You don't give me any credit at all. No credit at all.
I mean, he making some shit happen, but it's not what people are thinking. Again, we talking about America's perception. Most Americans don't even leave out of their local fucking gas stations. That's the part of they fucking.
You been at the gas station all your life? I don't know about that. I'm saying though, you don't see any. You don't give him any credit for the fact that these countries do seem to be listening. He's kind of like E.F. Hutton. When Trump talks, people listen.
If that's the case, then why don't we give Biden credit? Because it's still under his administration, right? What me and you said for 4 years, and Democrats hate when we say it, but what happened under Trump, you had to give him credit regardless if he did anything about it. Give him credit because it happened under his administration, under his term. So even if it's fucking January 19th, it's under Biden. So he gets credit for it. I'm not going with that, we're not going to give Biden credit. Oh, people are scared because Trump. Nobody's scared of Trump. Trump can't even go to most of these fucking countries because he has a felony. So how you going to scare me and you can't
You know that's not going to be enforced though, right?
I mean, you can't get off the plane. Yes, country can enforce that. You can't
What
get off
country is not going to let Trump in? Which one? Because you're right. Most countries, most of our allies, the civilized countries, do not let felons from the U.S. in their. When I lived in Australia, I knew dudes who could not get in because they had felonies. But you think any of our allies are going to reject Trump's entry because he got a bunch of felonies?
No, I don't mean like so much an ally, but I could see Trump trying to get that, because Trump is has the biggest victim mentality I've ever seen. The spoil you bratness has never left his fucking life. He's been a spoil you brat. So I could see him landing somewhere knowing they're not going to let him off the plane just for the publicity. But I mean, most cases,
I can't see it. You really think there's a country out there that would not let Trump in their country?
Yeah, it's too like North Korea. His ass can't fly.
Oh, well, North Korea. And I think you think North Korea is going to ban Trump because he got a bunch of felonies? Really?
I just mean that if he wants to do that publicity stunt, he can. He's done it before, but I was just being an asshole. He's not even gonna, all right. He's not going to visit most of the countries anyway because he doesn't give a shit about those countries. If he had, he would have already visited those countries.
Yeah, I think Trump's going to be like a Visa card. He'll be a welcome everywhere. I don't think any country's going to pay attention to those felonies because, I mean, obviously we're talking about the United States. If it was some small little country, maybe the leader of Turks and Caicos or some shit, maybe, but...
I don't think anybody would deny him, but Trump is, at his age, also seeing that even in America, he can get that little blonde wig knocked off. He's not going to no other country where he got where they have to do. He don't trust Secret Service. He's scared. If you notice, he's scared wherever he go. He be double questioning the Secret Service now. So I understand him.
What do you think? That's an interesting point. When you say now, you talking about getting that blonde wig knocked off. For folks who don't realize what he's talking about a future assassination attempt. What do you think are the chances that may happen again? We know Trump is going to talk shit. We know that already. He is a divisive leader. Now, folks are already saying, I think I'm listening to Bill O'Reilly the other day, and they were questioning whether he'll take the walk to the White House on inauguration day. And even O'Reilly said, no, because of the security risk. Do you think somebody may try to take another swing at him?
I mean, again, there's always going to be radical people, and he is the most stunted person in America right now.
I think in terms of radical people, I think he is the radicalizer. I think he radicalizes people because of how he's, things he's saying, how he treats people.
I just mean that when you have two, let's say, radicalized people, they can't stay in the same area, and every time Trump went into an area where there was a super radical person, they bumped heads, and he didn't know he was bumping heads with the little guy on the roof, but that's what happens in America. But it's, again, I'm 43, me and you remember where presidents were, and people like Jesse Jackson and politicians were getting jaw checked in Chicago. That's why they made Secret Service. That's why they created it. And everybody have to remember the lower level you get, like Alderman City. They were getting knocked the hell out and everywhere, and they still do. It's not easy being a politician.
But Trump was fairly well liked, at least on the national. I don't know about in New York because of his business dealings, but nationally, he was well liked before becoming president. It's just once he became.
No. I don't know why people keep saying that. Trump was not well liked. He was well known. He was well known. He wasn't well liked just because somebody mentions Trump's name or you see them filming a video in Trump Tower. That's not being well liked. You're well known. It's a difference.
I don't remember hearing a lot of negative stuff about Trump before he became president, and we did hear a lot about Trump. It just wasn't negative. I don't remember hearing.
Because nobody gave a shit about the 3,000 times his ass was in court. Nobody cares about when he wasn't renting to people. Nobody cares about when he was talking to them behind their back. Nobody cared when he was on the show on national TV saying your ass was fired and you knew you was more qualified. See, that's what I mean. America perspective. We even say that about people like him, like, oh, he was well liked. He wasn't well liked. He was well known.
I don't know. I think the issue, obviously he's at parties. He's at the Clintons. He's hanging around Republicans. He's hanging around he seemed well liked to me. Mike Tyson and all these folks are hanging around. You don't think he was well liked at all, huh?
Yeah, just because you are around rich people, mega influencers, don't mean you well liked. You could be well used. You could be well known. You could be like Epstein. What the fuck Epstein was? He was well liked. He was well
liked. He was supplying people with some young vagina, sounds like, but he was well liked.
But that's not being well liked though. It's just like people at my company, or if I go into a business when I'm inspecting lasers and I think that I'm well liked because I'm there to repair their fucking lasers.
I don't know about that unapologetic. If you're a man known for supplying other men with a lot of vagina, you're gonna be well liked by a lot of dudes. I don't know. I think he was well liked.
If you was well liked, your friends and associates would be throwing your ass under the bus.
Well, you're dead now. It's different. I don't think.
Like Trump. Look at Trump friends, associates. They would throw his ass under the bus quick. Nobody's like quitting.
Yeah, but that's a politician. That's what I'm saying. Before Trump became a politician, Trump as a politician is not well liked. He said a lot of awful things about people that I don't recall him saying as a citizen. Maybe he was saying it, but he became a politician, and then he started playing to certain groups and playing against. I don't think he was doing that as much as a citizen.
Yeah, he was. His ass wouldn't have been in court over 3,000 times if he wasn't. His ass wouldn't. Women didn't like him.
3,000, huh?
Yeah, Trump has stayed in court. Everybody remember the racist things he said his entire life. All the women remember the disgusting things he said about his 1-year-old daughter, about her legs. Till she was a teenager, and he said that he'll date her if she wasn't his daughter. Telling Michael Cohen, 10 years old, I'm going to be dating that girl. Like, everybody remembers that he was not well liked.
Then how the hell? You're correct in saying that. He's on video telling a 10-year-old girl he'll be dating her in a few years. He's on video saying that if she wasn't my daughter, I would be dating her. Then he said something about the breast on his daughter when she was 1. Like, I don't know how her tits are going to. He's on video saying, how did he become president?
He said his 1-year-old daughter has her mom legs already.
Yeah.
She wasn't even fucking walking yet. Where did she get?
Yeah, he says she has her. He says she. Yeah, I don't know how you look at a 1-year-old and talk about the quality of their legs. But then he put his hands on on his chest like a pair of tits and says, I don't know how those are going to turn out. And he's talking about his own daughter at the age of 1. How did he become president with all of that on his resume, on video?
Sadly, he picked the right time to be president. Again, like I tell you, a lot of people don't like hearing it, but we live in a misogynistic, racist America. We saw it with Obama. Half of America voted against Obama. There was no doubt that, and it was still a blue wave, but it should have been nowhere near close as it was.
Well, McCain was a decent. I mean, he was a military hero.
Come on.
John McCain, really?
Not against Obama. Obama's the fucking only president I've heard men swoon over. Like the man.
Yeah, but when you're talking about actual qualifications, I would say John McCain, Obama was a senator too, but John McCain was in politics a lot longer. I mean, he was a military hero. I don't know. John McCain probably on paper was more qualified than Barack Obama, was he not?
No, I mean, if you're talking about qualifications, yeah, we can say that. But again, presenting as America what America wants when it comes to image, persona, even how Obama, stood up to like Netanyahu and
you're describing Trump. I mean, that's what persona, image, standing up to people.
No, I didn't say get down on your knees and go in a room with no reporters and nobody. Come on, you know what he did in that room. He ain't let nobody in the room. Tim.
Whoa! Who dropped that? I don't know. I think America likes the image of Trump. Certainly standing next to Elon Musk, 2 billionaires looking like a pile of Twin Tower money bags. I don't know. I think they like the image now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. America, we're dumb as shit. 1 minute we're talking about drowning with Elon batteries. We're talking about getting rid of.
That is so true. That is so true.
Elon subsidies that he get from America. America first. We were tired of billionaires getting up our subsidies, and then all of a sudden we see Elon, with a damn baby carrier with Trump in it, and all of a sudden now electrical vehicles aren't bad. Elon Musk isn't bad, and the billionaires he just made part of his administration, they're not that bad either.
That is so true. We took and I want to say I'll say MAGA took a complete about face. Elon, once he started throwing money around, electric cars were certainly not bad anymore. The lithium batteries, no complaint. Real talk, damn. Real talk, shout out. Thank you for the love. Wow. But I agree with you. We took a complete about face. Simply, Elon Musk to me is a perfect example of just somebody who bought their way into politics. He bought X from Twitter and done what the right liked, then found the right-wing leader, which is Trump, and bought his way into that as well. I mean, if he didn't have money, he would not have he literally bought his way into all of that stuff.
You got to be kidding me. You telling me the guy that can't be bought was just bought? Trump support. I get.
He caught him at the right time. The guy was running from.
That's what I mean about Trump. If it wasn't, that's why he lost against Biden.
Yeah. This guy, thank you.
That's exactly why he lost against Biden, because he lost against another white man in America. But when he goes against a black woman, we don't even show up. Like when they were saying that, too big to rig, we didn't even show up to the voting polls this time, people. It was like 8 million votes less than last election. So we watched America stay sedated, stay conservative. Conservatives won. Trump didn't win. MAGA didn't win. Conservatism won, and they'll see it, especially if the 2 Supreme Courts leave while Trump is the president. Now we're gonna have a 7-2 conservative court.
So conservatives look at it like America won. I got to move it on unapologetic. I mean, we are in a MAGA world now. It is MAGA world for at least the next 4 years. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. Real talk. I made a mistake in thanking you, and I ended up bringing you up. But I ended up bringing you up accidentally, but you certainly can come in. What do you think? Are you favorable? I mean, we got Trump around 4 more years. Some would say he is he's going to bring us a great economy. He's going to do what's right by this country. Are you excited?
No, I'm not.
Damn, I can't find anybody that's excited that Trump's here. So
I'm not the reason why I'm not excited is because, Trump showed that he said whatever he had to say in order to win. You know, like when he was talking about, I was in a MAGA Live because I try to get on like MAGA Lives too, stuff like that. I'm on Trump True Social because, you know, I want to understand them and stuff like that. You know, I want to see how they feel and see it from their point of view. But like I had told somebody recently that, you know, like when Trump said when he was on the campaign trail, he specifically said, "I'm gonna bring down gas. I mean prices, the price of groceries."
Made a lot of big
as
promises.
soon as-
Made a lot of big promises.
Yeah, as soon as I get in, I'm finna do this stuff. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But now that he won, well, you know, I'm not sure, and you know, it's kind of hard to do it. But you know, that's not how he was talking.
No,
You know,
it's
like
not.
he made it seem like he's the man for the job. He's going to stop the war in Ukraine even before he get into office when he's inaugurated. Now it's, well, you know, let's do like a 60 or 100 days and to see where stuff go at. You know, I see him doing the same thing he did like when he came in with Obama. You know, he was past a growing economy from Biden. When if things start going bad, he's gonna blame it on Biden. The reason why I can't do this, it was Biden's fault. And then his supporters, they're gonna be saying the same thing. And the thing is, it's gonna confuse me. Like last time, is when Trump came in. I believe he had the White House, the Senate, and Congress and stuff like that. And
Well, this time he got the Supreme Court too, though.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But yet and still, he's going to make it seem like it's everybody else's fault or whatever the case should be like that. He's never going to take personal responsibility for anything or whatnot like that. He going to be reminded about things that he said, and he's going to say, "Oh, I didn't say that. I don't think."
Well, I agree with you about not taking responsibility. If there's one term you'll never hear from Trump, it is "the buck stops with me." You'll never hear him say that.
And like I was watching this, because I'm the type that, you know, I watch the Senate hearings, I watch the Congress hearings, like no matter how many hours they is. If I'm at work, I got my Bluetooth in my ear. If Trump is on TV, I'm listening to what he's saying and stuff like that because I want to look at his character and not anything else or whatnot like that. But I'm watching these nominees, and the thing that blew my mind because they asking them questions and then they refer to Trump. Well, Trump said this, the president is going to do this. It's not about what the president said. They asking them personal questions about themselves. Right. What are you going to do? And it seems to be that they defer to Trump. And instead, like when that lady, I forgot her name, when she was asked about certain things, the white lady, she had on a white shirt. And she was like, well, I would have to see what the context was. You know, I haven't heard that. And everything that senator was asking was things that been all over the news or whatever the case may be. It
was a dodge.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you feel that way, then just say how you feel because the Republicans are in power. You're going to get nominated anyway. It's like Pete Hegseth. You know, I saw all the Democrats say that you didn't come see us. You know, if you'd have came and talked to us, we could have got past.
They weren't going to nominate Pete Hegseth no matter what he told.
No. I'm not saying that they was going to nominate him, but he put himself in a position to put a stripe on himself instead of showing that, you know, hey, it would have been better for him to go there and still talk to them and let the American people see their bias or whatever the case may be like that, instead of getting in there showing that my job is going to be loyal to Trump. When you are asked if Trump ordered you to shoot American
crazy. People, he could not.
You know, and you're not really answering that. Or it may be like that. Like, you know, that bothers me.
Yeah, speaking of what you're talking about, being asked if Trump gives you an unlawful order, can we depend on you not to do it? I had a viewer on my show last night suggest that, you know, Hegseth might be the kind of guy that if Trump ordered him to shoot protesters, like BLM protesters. Remember he went out with the Bible upside down and used tear gas? If Trump had said that, you know, because he also tweeted out when the looting starts, the shooting starts. So he has made indications of harming protesters. And folks were suggesting that Hegseth is the kind of guy that if Trump ordered him to have protesters shot, he would follow that order.
And I do believe that. It's like when people say, his supporters say that he cares about all Americans. You know, I refer back to one thing, Ashley Babbitt. Or whatever the case may be like that. Now, he praised Ashley Babbitt, hold her up high or whatnot like that. But I also remember that march in Charlottesville when that black lady had got ran over, I think by one of the supremacists or whatever. A black lady, had, you know what I'm saying?
The one that died, Well, white girl got killed out there. She was like, she was white, yeah.
Okay, so but whoever it was, he didn't talk about that person.
No, he didn't talk about it at all.
He didn't hold that person up. But he did say it was good people on both sides or whatever case shit like that. But what about those people were standing against people who felt like, you know, like racism, who felt like other people was lesser than them.
There's no denying that Trump picks sides. If you're protesting a right-wing cause, even if you're committing a crime while doing so, he will view you a lot less harshly than if you're protesting a left-wing crime and you commit a left-wing cause and you commit a crime while doing so. You're right. They ran over that woman who was protesting against the statues, and he didn't really say much about it at all. But then, but when it's done on the other side, he can't stop talking about it.
And then another thing, like I said, I get on his True Social. You know, before I saw Trump, I heard a lot of people say a lot of negative things about him. But I'm the type of person that I can't go off of what somebody else say. I have to see it for myself. Mm-hmm. So one time, this is my second account on his True Social. So I'm going to say how first account got banned. So I had went on his post, literally like pulled my heart out and told him, you know, basically how I feel, you know, like even though I don't support him, but I see that he got the capability to bring the people together because a lot of people love him. But it's just some people like me that, you know, feel a certain kind of way and have reserves. And that post, I said, sir, even though I'm saying I don't say, like I'm saying, sir, you know, and stuff like that, being very respectable. And I say, even though I don't support you, you know, I'm telling you that I'm willing to make a change, or the case may be like that, for the greater good of everything. I got on True Social the next day, and my account was banned.
and that's what I say about Truth Social. Well, Truth Social was Trump, but I said the same about Elon purchasing Twitter. It's like, because they claim that they want to have free speech. So Elon buys Twitter. I'm like, all you really did was turn it from a far left side to a far right side. I mean, that's
exactly. It's like when I watch, because see, I'm the type that, you know, I believe in watching all the news. All the cases should be like all of like Fox, OAN, Newsmax, CNN, because the way that I feel like you're not gonna get the truth from all of them. Yep. But if you watch all of them, you can get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Exactly. All the case should be like that. And like with Fox News or whatnot like that, like Jessica Tarlov, I see her be on there or whatnot like that, and they just like be clearly showing their bias against her, because if she's speaking facts about something,
she's good.
Yeah, exactly. Like for an example, when she was talking about C-19 and the vaccines, you know, Judge Janine Karen had made a gesture like, oh, and she like, what, you know, why you making that gesture? Like, you took the vaccine, like you all right? Or okay, should be like that. Like, why sit there and deceive the American people?
I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, and I've been watching The Five since that show replaced Glenn Beck. I've been watching it that long. In fact, I've been watching Fox News even before Glenn Beck, because that used to be Tom Sullivan's spot. But I'll tell you something in regards to Jane Pirro, Judge Jane Pirro. I don't favor her. I lost credibility for her when she, on January 6th, the evening of January 6th, yelled out that was Antifa that went in the Capitol building. And I'm looking at it like, you're not even in D.C. You're sitting in a studio in New York. How the hell you know it's Antifa within a few hours after the event ended? I mean, she was just blindly defending MAGA, blindly defending Trump, and went on national television and said that shit. From that point on, I have never had any credibility for Judge Janine Pirro. I'm like, there's no way you should be telling the public that this is Antifa. And of course, we're 4 years out, and it's pretty clear that was not Antifa.
Exactly. It's like when I talk to some supporters and some of them tell me, I saw them, you know, I saw them changing clothes. So I say, so you telling me that they pulled up in a big bus and they was wearing BLM stuff and Antifa, and they just got dressed in front of everybody and just changed clothes or whatever the case should be like that. Like, why is there no videos of this kind of stuff or whatnot like that? Like you said it was Antifa, but also Trump from the pardon Antifa? He from the pardon BLM?
It doesn't make sense. Not only does it not make sense, because you're right, if it's Antifa, then why the hell is Trump making music and talking about pardoning everybody and saying it's a love fest? If Antifa did all of that, you should be saying they ruined my day. It wasn't a good day. But also, the idea that BLM or Antifa would go to a rally where a hell of a lot of MAGA are pissed off thinking the election was stolen. This would be the most dangerous environment for them to ever be in. Why the hell would people think they're going to show up? A few of them are going to show up and get involved in that? No way in hell they would go there.
And change right in front of y'all.
Right.
Well, all of y'all can even see them. Like, they actually be put down. Or the case should be. And then on top of that, if they don't want Trump to win, why would they be going there trying to stop Biden and help Trump win? It
makes no sense. Yeah, and it's not like Antifa wears uniforms, so you can know that it's Antifa. I mean, none of it makes sense. None of it at all.
And you know, like for like another example or whatever the case should be like that. Like, they love to scream like, "Oh, under Trump, like no new wars, no new wars." But this boy talking about taking over stuff. And somebody asked him, they said, "Well, can you guarantee the American people, like the military, won't be involved?" Well, I can't tell you that.
Yeah. Well, that is what has upset a lot of people, because he is running. Now that he's won, he is sounding a little bit different than he was campaigning, because a lot of folks are saying that, like, you didn't campaign on Greenland or taking the Panama Canal. You didn't campaign on this stuff. Why is this stuff coming up? And like you said about the groceries, where now you're starting to say, well, you know, it might actually be challenging to lower the price of groceries. You sounded real confident when you were campaigning. Now that you've won, well, you know, I might not be able to do this. So I think that is giving some folks, I won't say voters remorse just yet, because he's got to get in there, but it is making some people give a double take, because this ain't what you ran on. And now that you've won, you're talking about doing all this new shit that we might have thought twice if you had talked about it. But I got to move it on there. I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
And I say this last piece. Like, when I was on the MAGA Live, and they was asking me why I wouldn't vote for Trump, and I said because he flip-flopping, and I said something about the grocery piece, that how he was talking about he was going to bring them down. And one of his supporters came in and said, no, what he said was that it's going to be hard to bring him down once he get in. And in my mind, I'm like, that's not what I said. Like, that's not what he said. So now I'm just looking for the new excuses that's going to be made, so I can just remind a lot of people. Thank you, sir. And I did have on your one of your YouTube posts, I put up there because of what I heard about what Julio and Gen X had did, or whatever the case. He tried to act like different or whatnot like that. So I made sure I came in there and said, like, this is the only person that I watch his live that I will put multiple galaxies on, like just like what I had.
Appreciate that. Thank you for that support.
Like that, because I really respect you. So thank you, sir, and thank you for bringing me up.
Anytime. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Good talk. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, I got to step away because I got a family duty. I'll be back on in about an hour. I got to end the program for a quick minute. Thank you.